Mineral fragments, which range in size from very fine to coarse, make up about 4% of the sand in Normandy. During World War I, the French attempted to outwit the Germans by creating a fake Paris. The French started erecting a fictitious town miles away from the real Paris out of fear of an air attack during the night. During World War II, Adolf Hitler's nephew was a member of the US Navy. After taking office on March 6, 1944, William P. Hitler served for 3 years, during which time he was awarded a Purple Heart Medal for a wound he sustained. Germany was bombarded by the Allies during World War II, and each year, some 2,000 tons of unexploded bombs and other ordnances are discovered there. During World War II, Adolf Hitler's nephew was a member of the US Navy. After taking office on March 6, 1944, William P. Hitler served for 3 years, during which time he was awarded a Purple Heart Medal for a wound he sustained. One theory is that the enormous statue of Nero, modelled after the Colossus of Rhodes, is the source of the Colosseum's name. Hadrian, the emperor, placed the enormous bronze statue of Nero, a solar deity, in its current location next to the Colosseum. During World War I, the French attempted to outwit the Germans by creating a fake Paris. The French started erecting a fictitious town miles away from the real Paris out of fear of an air attack during the night. The Leaning Tower of Pisa is located in the Italian city of Pisa. Commencing in 1173, the 56-meter tower gained notoriety for its inadvertent tilt and was constructed over almost 200 years. After 5 years, it began to tilt. When the second story was being constructed, the tilt became very apparent. Mesopotamia is the source of the oldest surviving written literature. The Epic of Gilgamesh is frequently recognized as the first great composition. However, other even older, shorter works, such as the Kesh Temple Hymn and the Instructions of Shuruppak, have survived through history. Germany was bombarded by the Allies during World War II, and each year some 2,000 tons of unexploded bombs and other ordnances are discovered there. Through later folk customs, Valentine's Day evolved into a major cultural, religious and commercial festival of romance and love in many parts of the world. Originally, Valentine's Day was a Christian feast day honouring a martyr named Valentine. Just thought I'd take this video to promote the manga that I'm working on, which has released the new page today. It's called Blood Bond, and it's a fantasy adventure revenge manga that's catered towards adults. It features many different mythologies, but it heavily features and is influenced by Greek mythology. If you want to read it, or if you're interested in reading it, please check the description below to check out Blood Bond. Koios is Polos, Krios is Krios, Kronos is Saturn, Hyperion is Sun, Eaptus is Geaptus, Monomason is Moneta, Oceanus is Ocean, Phoebe is Phoebe, Rhea is Ops, Thea is Dione, Themis is Justia, Tethys is Tethys. You know, I've been searching around the internet for a long time for a timeline of Greek mythology, but haven't really found too much, as it's a very difficult thing to put into order. And the ones that I have found aren't really that good. Like, they put the events at the beginning of the world in order, then just don't put any of the stories or myths in order of when they happened. If anyone knows or has a timeline for Greek mythology, that would be very much appreciated. Anitos, father of Desponia, Asteros, goddess of falling stars and nocturnal oracles, Asterius, god of the art of astrology, dusk, planets and stars, Atlas, forced to hold up the heavens and earth, Dion, an oracle goddess, Helios, sun god, Eos, goddess of dawn, Epimetheus, god of afterthought, Lelantis, god of moving unseen, Leto, goddess of motherhood and the mother of Apollo and Artemis, Menoetis, god of human morality, rash action and violent anger, Metis, goddess of advice, craftiness, cunning, good counsel, planning, wisdom, Athena's mother, Pallas, god of warcraft, Perseus, god of destruction, Prometheus, god of crafty counsel and foresight, Selene, the moon goddess, Styx, personification of hatred and the river Styx, Cisseus, turned into a fig tree to escape Zeus, Alecto, the unceasing one. Tisiphone, avenger of murder. Megara, the jealous one. Uranus's cut genitals were thrown into the water, resulting in the birth of the goddess of beauty, love, desire, and pleasure, known as Aphrodite. She had numerous lovers, most famously Ares, in whom she gave birth to Harmonia, Phobos, and Deimos, despite being married to Hephaestus, who she had no children with. Hermes, Dionysus, and Adonis were her other famous lovers. Her symbols include roses, myrtle, doves, dolphins, and other animals, and her Roman version is Venus. The horrible god Zeus attacked Lord Typhoon and brought him to the island of Ichia to bury Lord Typhoon with his own hands. But Zeus was mistaken. 200 years later, Typhoon woke up, consumed by rage. He burned all the people living there, making the island of Ischia his new home. In an attempt to become the ruler of the universe, Typhoon tried to dispose of Zeus. Zeus ultimately prevailed in their epic battle thanks to his thunderbolts. After losing, Typhoon was either buried beneath Mount Etna, imprisoned in Tartarus, or according to some later stories, banished to the island of Ischia. Beaut or beauty is Australian slang meaning great, excellent, fantastic, or words similar to that. You beaut or you beauty is something you'll hear a lot in Australia, especially with older people or people from the country, from what I've noticed. It's Australian slang for a big city, something like either Brisbane or Sydney, or New York or LA in America. Bicky is Australian slang for a biscuit. A lot of Australian slang words like this are just shortened down words. Billy is Australian slang for a teapot or kettle, or a tin, like shown. Basically anything that you can boil water in. I haven't heard this term since I was a child. Ungia, goddess of fertility. Bira, Ganulu, spirit of fertility. Dilga, goddess of fertility and growth. Jalungul, goddess of fertility, rebirth and water. Ungad, god of fertility. Wollongqua, god of fertility and rain. Adelaide, South Australia, with 1,324,279 people. Brisbane, Queensland, with 2,360,241 people. Canberra in Australian Capital Territory, 403,463 people. Darwin in the Northern Territory with 145,916 people. Hobart in Tasmania, with 224,462 people. Melbourne, Victoria, with 4,725,316 people. Perth, Western Australia, with 2,022,044 people. Sydney, New South Wales, 5,029,768 people. When a kangaroo is walking slowly, its tail functions more like a third leg, propelling the animal ahead as part of a three-staged walk. The echidna was named after the mother of all monsters in Greek mythology, who was half snake, half woman. It was named this after her because early on, scientists thought the echidna had both mammal and reptile features, just like the echidna from Greek mythology. If you want to read it, or if you're interested in reading it, please check the description below to check out Bloodbond. Even though it's not my favourite anime in the world anymore, I'm still a massive Dragon Ball fan, all the way from the original Dragon Ball right to Dragon Ball Super, GT not included, and this is all the Dragon Ball stuff I have so far. And I'm always looking to get more of it, and I'm working on currently getting the last book for the Dragon Ball Z manga. Then I'm going to catch up on the Dragon Ball Super manga, and then I'm going to start collecting the Dragon Ball manga again, which I used to have but got lost. And I'll keep you updated when I do get them. I'm really happy and proud of the collection of stuff that I have. Even all the stuff people think is cringe, like the hentai-ish stuff. I don't really care what others say about it. If I think something's cool, neat, nice, or funny, or whatever, I'm gonna buy it and add it to my collection. Koi are symbols of love and friendship in Japan, amongst many other symbols. Koi is a homophone for another word that means affection or love. I've been doing my best to study more in depth about Japan, instead of just liking anime and manga. I've been researching the history, mythology, culture, and everything else about the country. And this channel here has really helped me do that a lot. I'm a bit hesitant about learning the language, as learning languages isn't something I'm really good at, but I'm gonna give it a go. Even if it's just basic stuff like saying hello, goodbye, or introducing myself. For Tokyo Tower to be fully painted in orange and white, 28,000 litres of paint are needed. Meat consumption quickly gained social acceptance in Japan during the Meiji Restoration. In 1872, the Meiji government declared that the meat restriction would be lifted. I'm just going to take a moment here to promote something of mine. The manga that I'm working on, called Blood Bond, has released a new page today. It's a fantasy adventure revenge manga catered towards adults, and features a lot of different mythologies, with Greek mythology having a big influence on it. So if you're interested, please check out the description, it would really help me out. Basset, goddess of beauty, dance, felines, love, perfume, and protection. Bess, god of dance, love, and music. Hathor, goddess of beauty, love, and music. Min, god of love, reproduction, and sexual pleasure. Aphrodite, goddess of beauty, love, and sex. Dionysus, god of pleasure and wine. Eos, goddess of the dawn, who has a great sexual desire. The Erotes, which include Antares, god of requited love. Eros, god of love and procreation. Himeros, god of sexual desire and unrequited love. Hedilogos, god of flattery and sweet talk. Hermaphroditus, god of effeminate men and hermaphrodites. Hymen, god of the bridal hymn, marriage and weddings. Pothos, god of desire, sexual longing and yearning. Hedone, goddess of pleasure. Pan, god of many things but is portrayed as being lustful. Pytho, personification of persuasion and seduction. Philotes, goddess of affection and friendship. Priapus, god of fertility, genitalia, intercourse, lust, and nature. Danu is a mother goddess associated with fertility, abundance, and wisdom. She is revered as the mother of a race of supernatural beings in Irish mythology. Latona, a Latinization of Leto's name, is Leto's equivalent in Roman mythology. She is portrayed as a modest, veiled woman in the company of Zeus and her children. Malaysia is home to a diverse range of folk religions practiced around the nation. Being animists, the majority of indigenous people in Malaysia think that spirits can be found inside particular objects. However, more recently, state-sponsored Muslim dawah or Christian missionaries has caused people to turn to other, more mainstream religions. One of the most well-known narratives from Mesopotamia is the Epic of Gilgamesh, which is frequently cited as the world's earliest work of written literature and the oldest mythology. It was once composed of several separate short stories and wasn't brought together into a single, coherent epic until the 18th century BCE. Aphrodite, father is Uranus. Artemis and Apollo, father is Zeus, mother is Leto. Ares and Hephaestus, father is Zeus, mother is Hera. Athena, father is Zeus, mother is Metis. Demeter, Hades, Hera, Hestia, Poseidon, and Zeus, father is Kronos, mother is Rhea. Dionysus, father is Zeus, mother is Semele. Hermes, father is Zeus, mother is Maya. Most active volcanoes are found in the vicinity of main tectonic plate borders. Due to the lack of plate boundaries in Australia, active volcanoes here are very uncommon. Heard Island and the neighbouring McDonald Islands, however, are two of the Australian territories with active volcanoes, and they're located about 6,500 kilometres southwest of Perth. More than any other country, Peru is home to 3,700 species of butterflies, making up almost 20% of the total species found worldwide. Up to 4,200 butterflies are thought to eventually be found in Peru because there are still a great deal of unrecorded species there. New Zealand became the first sovereign nation in history to codify the right of women to vote in parliamentary elections when Governor Lord Glasgow signed a new electoral act into law on September 19th, 1893. There are 195 countries in the world today, 54 in Africa, 38 in Asia, 44 in Europe, 33 in Latin America and the Caribbean, 14 in Oceania, and 2 in North America. Native to Malaysia and Thailand and other places in Southeast Asia, Mopelo is a citrus fruit and is the largest citrus fruit in the world. With 879,800 lakes total, Canada is the country with the most lakes in the world, having more lakes than all other countries put together. The United States, the United Kingdom, Portugal, Norway, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, Italy, Iceland, France, Denmark, Canada, and Belgium were the 12 founding members of NATO. Love and passion have always been closely linked to Paris. Numerous love stories in literature, movies, and music have included the city as their setting. Even the Eiffel Tower has evolved into a symbol of love. Typically, adult brown recluse spiders have a 1 to 2 year lifespan between May to July. Each female produces many egg sacs, each containing roughly 50 eggs. After around a month, the eggs hatch, and growing to adulthood takes the spiderlings approximately a year. The Goliath bird-eater spider, like the majority of tarantulas worldwide, is completely harmless and docile towards humans, despite its reputation, look, and the size of its fangs. Although the spiders do possess venom, the sting of a wasp is far more painful than this spider's bite. The only lady to have her portrait on a US banknote is Martha Washington, on the front of the $1 silver certificates from 1886 to 1891 and in 1896. There will still be fact videos on this channel, and most of the videos will be fact type videos. However, instead of making a new channel, this channel is going to be my multi-purpose channel. There's going to be facts, rare gaming videos, compilations from all my channels, IRL stuff, and other stuff that I can't think of. Even videos on topics that could go on my other channels. I just want to try some from small moonlets less than 1 kilometer wide to the massive moon Titan, which is larger than the planet Mercury. Saturn has a vast and varied collection of moons, equaling up to 62. In 1847, the Italian chemist Assunto Sobrero created nitroglycerin for the first time by combining glycerol with a strong solution of sulfuric and nitric acids. The star KELT-9, which is situated roughly 670 light years away from Earth, is orbited by the exoplanet KELT-9b, which is classed as a hot Jupiter, and was discovered in 2016 by the Kilo-Degree Extremely Little Telescope. KELT-9b, as of October 2022, is the hottest known exoplanet. Greater than both the planet Mercury and the dwarf planet Pluto, Ganymede, the moon of Jupiter, is the largest moon in our solar system. The strongest proof yet of a salty ocean underground on Ganymede has been discovered by NASA's Hubble Space Telescope. Any terrestrial planet that has molten lava covering most of, or all of, its surface is known as a lava planet. These kind of planets might be found in scenarios like a planet that has recently experienced a significant collision, a planet that is extremely close to its star, resulting in tidal forces and radiation, or a newly formed terrestrial planet. A substance known as ethyl formate was discovered by astronomers in 2009 within a large dust cloud at the Milky Way's core. It so happens that raspberries get their taste from this same thing, ethyl formate, which have led people to think that space smells and would taste like raspberries. 433 Eros is an S-type asteroid, the most common type in the inner asteroid belt. It's a typical member of the Armors group of NEAs, which cross Mars's orbit but do not quite reach Earth. named after the Greek god of passionate love, Eros, whose Roman equivalent is Cupid. When they are first formed, neutron stars can rotate up to 60 times per second. Through the accretion of material, they can enhance this rotation to over 200 times per second if they are part of a binary system. White holes are theoretical cosmic regions that function in the opposite way to black holes. Just as nothing can escape a black hole, nothing can enter a white hole. 2011 saw the discovery of TRES-2b, the darkest exoplanet ever discovered, which reflects less than 1% of the light hitting it. The planet is claimed to be completely dark on its surface, since it reflects less light than charcoal. Based on its mass and radius, the planet is classified as a gas giant, with a bulk composition similar to Jupiter. However, because of how close it is to its star, TRES-2b is known as a hot Jupiter. One of the first domesticated animals was the goat, which is estimated to have been tamed around 10,000 years ago based on archaeological evidence. The goddess of love, Aphrodite, is represented by the dove in Greek mythology. This is consistent with myth from Mesopotamia, which describes doves as being messengers of love. A species of toothed whale found in South America is the Amazon river dolphin, sometimes referred to as the pink river dolphin. Male dolphins of this sort can weigh up to 185 kilos and reach a length of 2.5 meters, making them the largest species of river dolphin. Adults become pink as they grow, with males displaying this coloration more prominently than females. Its melon, an organ utilized for biosonar, is similar to that of other toothed whales. Number 1. The mother kangaroo uses her muscles to force milk down the throat of her newborn joey because joeys are unable to swallow or suckle. 2. Giant anteaters are the largest of the 4 anteater species, with a total length of 1.8 to 2.4 meters, including the tail and nose, and they weigh between 27 to 45 kilos. Number 3. A fowl may stand on its own 2 legs within 1 hour of its birth. It can operate after 2 hours. Socializing, though, takes 2 to 3 months. Number 4. Blue whales, which are the largest animals known to have lived on Earth, have tongues that can weigh as much as an elephant, roughly around 2,700 kilos. Number 5. The world's most venomous fish is the reef stonefish. Its dorsal fin contains 13 robust spines that are capable of injecting a highly lethal venom. The smallest bird in the world is the Cuban bee hummingbird, which is only 2 inches long and weighs about 1.5 grams.